Hi everyone, my name is Jeremy, this is Red Means Recording, and welcome back to another edition of So You Want to Make a Sound Challenge. The whole point of this series is to take suggestions from my patrons on sounds that they would like to know how they are made. And this builds upon the knowledge that I tried to impart with my So You Want to Make a Sound Intro to Sound Design video. So they send me sounds in songs, and they say, hey, how was this done? And then we do it. So today we're going to be looking at The Prodigy's Poison, which is a favorite track of mine, specifically this high whine sound that is in it. So let's take a listen to it real quick.
I got the poison, I got the remedy, I got the perfect lyrical remedy, I got the
It's just a string sound. It's just a string sound, friends. All right, so let's see if we can actually like really recreate it. So it's pretty buried in the mix. You can hear it if we like grab a multiband compressor and listen to the top end of this. So let's do that real quick. I'm going to make some bands here, and I hit learn on the Ozone Dynamics. Then we can listen to each individual band and isolate the sound. So you can hear that. Really brings it out there. So it's very barely down here. It's mostly in this band. Let's see if we can really isolate the range this sound exists in. I'm adjusting these till I no longer hear the sound. So around 600 to the top. One of the things that I try to impart with this series is that making a sound is as much about reaching for the right synth or sample as it is understanding the context that the sound was made in. So we're going to do a little bit of online research and see if we can figure out what this sample came from. Let's go to here and search for The Prodigy Poison samples. And then we get Who Sampled Who, one of the best resources in the entire world to look up stuff. So look here, we got 4 songs that Poison samples from. I know that Liam Howlett used a lot of samples alongside his synths. That was what the 90s and 2000s were about. Tons of sampling. Let's listen to some of these samples and see if we can figure out if it's part of the track that we're currently listening to. Okay, so this Skull Snaps track is the beat. One of the most classic break beats out there. Yeah, another super classic break beat. You can hear that at 138 here. Yeah, right there. 248.
Ground out the basement, now over now.
Okay, so that's just a little vocal sample. Okay, so what can we identify about the sound? Well, it comes in like super fast. Like, so there's probably very little attack. Like it just comes right in and then comes right out. Yeah, just like comes in real quick and then goes out real quick. So 0 attack, 0 release. Full sustain, meaning that the sound is at its full volume for the whole time. To me, it sounds like a string in the way that it's placed in here. It also sounds kind of distorted and distressed. One more thing to look up. All right, we have one call for the chord Prophecy. JD800, lots of samples. All right, well, that's not very helpful. I don't think I have a Prophecy. The Prophecy was a crazy synth. All right, let's just try to make this sound. So let me quickly do a little search in my remix folder for string. Get rid of these. I think we're going to focus on this one right here. Let's get the pitch right first, and also let's loop this in such a way that it has no attack or release. Change our warp mode to complex. Real fun. It's definitely the most fun one we've had so far. It sounds great. Okay, so let's grab this same dynamics thing here and put it on our string sound. So we're only gonna listen to the same frequencies in both of our sounds here so that we can really like try to figure out if they're in the same frequency spectrum so that we can really match them. Okay, so we need to brighten our sound up quite a bit. So let's grab an EQ. We're gonna grab a neutron because this is gonna give us a fair amount of control over what we're doing here. Let's get rid of, let's see, what was our crossover point here? We decided that we were going to lose everything below 600. So here we will make this really sharp and actually make it a flat high pass. Bam. Let's lose everything under 600. Cool. And let's go ahead and get rid of this stuff in the high mids and really boost the top end. All right, let's grab some form of multiband distortion. We have a couple choices. The audio damage competent try. So this is a multiband distortion unit. You can see we have low, mids, highs. We can change the volume of each thing. Yeah, let's start playing with this and see if we can match the distortion. So you have to pick a distortion type for each of one of these. And we also need to get a sense of our crossover points. So if we turn one of these off, we'll just have two. I don't think we need to distort the lows. That's fine. So now it's just about the mids and highs. So let's make this around 600 for our mid. Can we make this bigger? I think they use vectors. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Thank you, audio damage. Let's distort our highs first. Now, let's go ahead and try some of our other distortion types. I think we're getting really close, but I love multiband distortion. Nerd rage. So one of the things that you can think about when you're doing this is like, what was the gear that may have been used to process this sample? What kind of effects did it have built into it? What was the quality of its distortion? We're going to put a little bit of bit crush on this, just a tiny bit of redux right before our distortion. Take this down to 10 bits and take the rate down just a little bit. Just give ourselves a little tiny bit of that. All right, let's get this back in and figure out what we like about this. Clip sounds pretty good. Now let's do, ooh, I don't think we want anything in the mid-range. I hear what sounds like aliasing on theirs. I think that's how it's so high up in the mix. So let's alias a bit more, meaning let's go ahead and introduce some high-end aliasing like that with a redux. Sound is mono, so let's go ahead and grab a utility. Cool. Let's go ahead and EQ it again. And I think that's going to be it. This is about as close as I think I'm going to be able to get to it without knowing exactly what was used to make it. But those samples that I reached for at the beginning, those are from an old, really popular sample CD, the Zero-G data files that have a lot of samples that were used in those early 2000s electronica stuff, which is always good to have around if you're trying to get that sound. Well, I think that's about it. Sorry, this has been a real annoying sounding one. I'm real sorry about that, everybody. I didn't expect it to be basically just the worst frequency band in the world to listen to. There, it's a starved string. Probably could have gotten this with less plugins, but yeah, just degrade and distort a string. All right, well, how long have I been recording for? About 24 minutes. I'm going to give us a little outro to cleanse our palates. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll see you in the next one. Check out the playlist if you'd like to do more of these with me. All right, my name is Jeremy. This is Red Beans Recording, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Got the poison